Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my knitting podcast, Hannah Jean Stitchery. I am Hannah, I am the knitter behind this podcast, and welcome. So Today is going to be my third podcast, I think. I don't know, we're basically starting over. I have two projects, sort of, that are from 2022. One of them has been completely restarted, and then the other one is a continuous thing, and I don't plan on ripping it back. I'm gonna keep working on it. So yes, let's get into this podcast, knowing that we have started over and we have nothing from 2022 to work on. I guess we'll start with finished objects. The first one is this cardigan, and I'm not wearing the best outfit to show it off, but this is Aude Cardigan by Knitterssisters on Instagram, and I test knit this for them. This is the size large, and I knit it in Holst Supersoft 100% wool. It's this beautiful chevron lace pattern. I love it so much. Yes, I did the size large. There are buttons on it, and it's a fingering weight, so I held it, you know, just one strand. I have like two strings not tied in, but it's fine. If you can hear my husband talking, sorry, he's playing a game. I was so happy when I got this finished because it felt like I was working on it forever. It was a 3-month-long test knit, and the lace, I know how to do laces. I know how to do lace. I don't quite understand still yet how to do decreases. So I butchered one of these arms, but it was too close to the deadline that I was like, we're gonna keep it. It's fine, and it turns out that it really is just fine. So I think that because this is a lacy fingering weight cardigan, I think this would be perfect for spring. There was a test knitter who did like a short sleeve or like to her elbow, and that was absolutely beautiful. So yes, go check it out. Check out everybody else's that they made. It's so pretty, and it was definitely worth knitting. But I am going to take it off now because it is hot. My second finished object and my last finished object so far is this wrap. It's called the Sophomore wrap by Two of Wands, and yes, so she knit hers in a Lion Brand yarn because she and Lion Brand work together a lot, and I also used Lion Brand. I used two different kinds of yarn. So let me tell you what I used for this really dark purple color and this lighter color, which does like a, like a waffle stitch or a basket stitch. I don't know what it's actually called, but or what she called it in the pattern. But that yarn is Feels Like Butter, the Thick and Quick line from Lion Brand, and I used the colors Vineyard Wine, which is the dark one, and Woodrose, which is the light one. Then the yarn that I used for the other spots is this really cool yarn that I found at Joann's late in the game. I think this was a winter yarn. Oh my goodness, I love this. I saw it, and then I picked it up, was about to buy it. There was like 5 balls, and I was like, there's not really enough to do anything with it, especially when I don't have anything in mind. So I put it back, and I waited like a week or two, and I had to ask my mom to pick it up for me because we don't live near that Joann's that it was available at. So she went and picked it up for me because, yes, I couldn't stop thinking about it. But this is what you want to know. It is Lion Brand's Feels Like Flannel, a new soft favorite is what they call it. And this is bulky weight number 5. The Feels Like Butter is a 6, I believe, and I bought that one at Walmart, or those ones at Walmart. Let's see. Yes, they are considered a super bulky. But this colorway is called Confetti, and I've been wanting to get more, but it was just a Joann's exclusive, I'm pretty sure, because I couldn't find it on Lion Brand website, and Joann's is sold out of it like everywhere. So unfortunately, I have what I have. I have 3 full balls left, and then this little guy right here left, and I think I'm gonna make some socks with the leftover and the rest of it. I have some other yarn that would look really, really nice with that, and they would make like slipper socks. So yeah, so here is what it looks like again. The original pattern is knit in 1 color. I didn't want to do that, and I also didn't want the colors to go all the way to the edge. I wanted this purple color to block it in, I guess. So I had to do some intarsia knitting, I think that's what it is. So that was my first time trying that, and it was super fun and super cool. The pattern called for a size 8mm needle. I think I ended up using a 6 because all of the yarn and the needle size, it was just very cumbersome on my hand, and my 8mm were plastic, so it was kind of sticky. So I switched to a 6mm metal Chiagu needle, and it worked a lot better, especially because I was able to be fairly loose to kind of mimic the 8mm gauge, but the 8mm gauge is actually a little bit tighter, and it's like a little bit more springy, like it really springs back. I mean, it all does, but I feel like this stretches more. So I don't know, but that is my sophomore wrap, and I got this done in like 4 days, I think, 4 or 5 days. So yes, quick knit, super fun, super pretty. That is all of my finished objects. Now I'm gonna go on to some whips that I've been working on. So I'm gonna start with the 2 that I'm carrying over from 2022. This first one is a cardigan for my husband with this lovely blippy looking yarn. Last year I was going to use a pattern by Martin Story called Stour, I think, and I had knit up the back and a front panel, and I could not, the wording of it or something, I just could not figure it out, and I was like, I know I will not be able to replicate what I just did on the other side. So I put it down, and I thought about it for a really long time, and I ultimately decided to rip it out and find a different pattern. Well, at first I was like, I'm just gonna wing it and see what happens. No, I'm not doing that. I ended up finding a pattern on Ravelry, or from Ravelry, but it's by and on the Yarnspirations website, and it is called Hey There Handsome Knit Cardigan, something like that. And yeah, it's really cool. It's got a cable detail. It is a free pattern. I believe it goes up to size 5XL. I am knitting the extra large size. That was another thing of the Martin Story Stour pattern. I was knitting a large size, and I was looking at it and I was like, this doesn't look right. It's gonna stretch. It's gonna be too small. So that was another factor of me ripping it back. I was okay with ripping it back. So yes, currently I'm on the back panel of this cardigan, and I have to knit up 20 inches, and then I can start shaping for the underarm and the neckline, I guess. So yeah, this yarn is, I don't remember. It's either Bernat or Karen. It was a baby yarn, like from one of their baby lines, and it is discontinued. It was like a limited edition type thing. But my husband saw it at Joann's and he was like, oh, we gotta get that. I need a cardigan. So I originally got it, and I crocheted a cardigan for him in this yarn, and he never wore it. I wore it more than he did, so it got ripped out. And we're trying again with a knit pattern. So yes, this is the Hey Handsome, Hey There Handsome, something like that, cardigan from Yarnspirations. My second whip that I'm carrying over from 2022 is my temperature blanket that I'm working on for my baby girl. She was born in May. I started it in June, and I am currently in, I think, July. So I'm super behind, and hang on, so my needle just got pulled out. Hang on. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So yes, this is the temperature blanket that I've been working on for a very long time and taking long breaks with it. I actually took a break to knit the Twist and Turns MCow last year, so that took a while, and then of course I had to stop what I was doing so I could knit the Aude cardigan. But we are back at it. We're back at it, and we are plugging away on this thing. I make updates, weekly updates on TikTok about this thing, so yeah, you probably have not seen most of this. The yarns I'm using is from Hobby Lobby. It's the I Love This Yarn 100% acrylic. I've got colors from 0 degrees to 120 degrees. Like the range is like 0 to 9 degrees, then 10 to 20, 10 to 19, then 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40, 49. So then 90 to 99, and then 100 to 110, and then, or 109, and then 110 to 119, because there was one day last year that was 112 degrees. So that was super fun having like a 2-month-old during that weather. But yes, this is what it's looking like so far. I actually had to go and get another color because that day had come after I picked out most of the colors. So yeah, it's wild. This is actually that color. It's white with pink speckles in it, pink and gray speckles, because I already chose the neon pink color for 100 degrees, 100 to 109 degrees. So that's a lot of what this blanket is. It's that color, well, at least in the summer months. And it's the color that I'm currently on, but also the color that is in the majority of this blanket is this color called Soft Pink. This is my color for the range of 70 to 79 degrees, and just about every day in the summer it was 70 something degrees. So yeah, and then of course like when fall comes and it's like 70 degrees for the high, and then the spring comes at 70 degrees for the high, and yeah, so 70 degrees is a popular color temperature for this blanket. Also, I should tell you what exactly I'm doing. I am using, it's called The Blanket by someone, I don't know, hopefully I will have it written here and it's in the description, but it is a chevron pattern, so that's really cool. And I'm holding 2 yarns together, one for the high, one for the low, and I'm also doing 2 rows per day. And I'm slightly regretting that decision because of how big it already is, but I'm thinking this thing is going to be big enough for a full-size bed that it needs to be huge. And this is like an heirloom piece, so it's not going to be like super roughed up and played with. At least I hope not. Well, it would be okay if they did play with, if my kids did play with it, but yeah, it's just gonna be massive, and I probably should have just done 1 row, but I was thinking, I started this when like I was really fairly new to knitting big things, so I was like, oh, I want all of my ends on one side. So I started doing that, and I got like a month in, and then I was like, I don't need to do this, so we're just going with it now. The next whip that I have, and I believe it's the last whip going that I have right now, and it is the Moonset Tea by Ozetta. Yes. So far I am working on the, well, I've got the back, and I'm working on doing, what front is this? The right front, left front. I'm doing a front right now. So yeah, this it looks funky, but it's part of how she does it. So this yarn is very sparkly, as you can tell. I love it so much. And this is the Yarn Bee Highlights in teal green. I am knitting up the 4th or 5th size. I don't remember what the measurements are for it, but I will have it linked below so you can go check it out. But yes, look at that sparkle. I love it. So it is a it's a 79% acrylic, 20% polyamide, and 1% metallic. And I just love this. I think that the pattern is actually written for a fingering weight yarn, but I'm using a DK weight yarn. That's what it says this is. It says it's a number 3. So I'm hoping that I have enough yarn. I know when I was deciding to do this pattern, I forgot that if you have a thicker weight yarn, you need more yardage. So I'm hoping I won't have to get more, but if I do, it will be fine. But yeah, so I'm knitting it very, very tightly. So it's taking a while because I have to hold it very tight. But I think it's doing all right. I don't think my gauge is too much bigger. And that'll be okay if it's just a little bit looser. Not a big deal. Kind of what I want anyway. So yes, this is this is my Moonset Tea, and I'm hoping to get a lot of progress done on this in the next couple weeks. Those are all of my whips that I have going right now. I'm gonna move on to projects that are about to be cast on and started. I only have 2 right now, which is fine because this is a lot. Like, that is a lot. So I need to get some work done on those. But the first thing that I want to show you is these yarns. Oops. These yarns are for a blanket that I am making for a mother at my church. She is pregnant with her 2nd baby, and when we find out the gender, I'm actually going to switch out this yarn for a gender specific color, so either blue or purple. And yeah, I'm going to be crocheting a granny square, sunflower granny square blanket. I made one for my daughter and I love it. It's actually currently sitting in my husband's car because it started to unravel because I was really bad at doing the ends for it. So I need to fix it, and I will be better at weaving in the ends. And I'm going to, let's see, I have a couple squares already made. I was using the magic loop, and I've decided that I am not going to do that because it can come open, you know? So I'm gonna do the chain and then crochet inside the chain. I think that will make it a little bit more sturdy, and I would hate to make it and then be like, it came apart. So yes, I started making those squares, and then I'm like, nope, I need to stop. I made 3. So I'm gonna start over with the chain method and get to work on a sunflower granny square blanket for an expecting mother. The second thing and the last thing that I have plans to start is another temperature blanket, and this one is for my son, who is 3. He's been seeing me work on my daughters, and he loves it. He's like, ooh, knit me a blanket. I want a blanket. I want a blanket. And then we were watching Clifford, and there was an episode where Clifford had a blue blankie, and we were like, well, I was like, okay, I'll knit you a blue blankie. We'll do a temperature blanket, and it'll be blue and green and orange and yellow. And he was like, okay. So we now call it lovingly the blue blankie. That isn't started, but it's in this bag. So we went to Hobby Lobby. This bag is from Joann's, so, but we went to Hobby Lobby, and I said, Bubba, do you want to pick out the yarns? And he was all for it. He loves looking at the yarns with me. So he got to pick out the colors for his blue blankie temperature blanket. And basically I told him what colors to pick out. Not really, like the category of the colors, but I let him choose which exact color he wanted. So I was like, okay, here we go. Let's start with the blue. Pick out a blue yarn. Pick out 2 blue yarns. So he picked out a dark blue, which, you know, it's got the greatest name, navy. And then he picked out a medium blue, which is the name of it. Then I was like, okay, let's pick out a green color. So he picked out the first green that he saw, which, again, oh no, this one has a fun name. It's called Jelly Bean. And then he picked out Light Sage. That was fun. He picked out 2 of the same color, and we said, no, Bubba, let's pick out another color. So I lifted him up high, and he saw it and he picked it out. So then we moved on to yellow. He picked out, what color? Cream, just a light yellowy color. And of course, the classic yellow. And then I saw this orange color, so I picked it out. I was thinking it was neon, and I really thought I picked up neon, but I guess not. So we have just regular orange. Oops, sorry, Bubba. He didn't pick that one out. But he did pick out this one, and it is called Mango. And then he goes, I want red. And red was not in my mind for this blue blankie, but it was in his, so he picked out red. And then we needed one more color, and I was like, okay, bub, we need one more color. And he goes, I want black. So we have black. So those are the colors for his temperature blanket. I have kind of figured out the rainbow order that I'm going to be doing, or the gradient that I'm going to be doing for it. And yeah, it's going to be great. So those are my plans, those are my whips, and those are my finished objects, and that concludes my podcast for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.